before we get started, if you have any questions, Linda, you can go ahead and ask away if there's anything on your mind already.
I've been learning as I go. I'm sure I'll think of some.
Are you new to treasurer?
Yes.
Okay. Have y'all linked your GiveBacks account to the bank and have that set up?
I need to check is this something new this year?
Yes. Although
Okay.
there's a chance you might have been doing it in the past, but probably not. I'm going to look real quick and tell you.
Okay.
It is connected. And y'all have been collecting membership dues. And
yes,
there is.
I knew I needed to pay.
Yes.
For what
So
we've
let me
already
show
collected.
you. I am going to show you how to do that while we're here.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So this is your GiveBacks account. When you log into npo.givebacks.com, it'll bring you to this. Well, the dashboard will look here. And then if you go to memberships and then remit state dues on that left side, and then this yellow bar up top, how do I pay? Now, I'm not authorized, but there will be a different button here. I don't know if it says submit dues. It'll say something else.
Okay.
And then you follow the steps. Now, you do have to have an initial setup linking the bank account to our account the same way that you kind of did it with the Stripe account for the main site. You have to do another process, but you only have to do it once.
Okay.
And then it's just a real quick click, and you're done.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
In the future.
I'll do that after this meeting.
Yeah. So
or
only
after
the
kids go to
president.
bed, one of the two.
Yeah. All right. Amy, you want to get started? I'm probably going to jump off. If you have a question, just text or call me, Amy, and I'll come back on.
Okay. I will.
Unless you want
Thank
me to stay on. I think you got it, though.
Yeah. Thank you.
I believe in you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Well, hello. Hi, Andy. I didn't get to say hi to you earlier. My camera was frozen for a minute, but looks like I'm back on now. So, do you want to say welcome? What school are you with?
I'm Justin Magnus on the Milton.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
and are you new to treasurer position?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So do y'all have any questions or any issues, or is that what Beth was going over with you?
Yes, ma'am. That's what I was just asking her. I think that's about it. We were just getting our GiveBacks account started up.
Okay, good. And the website too, I don't know if both of y'all have checked out the louisianapta.org website. It's got a ton of information, lots of videos, lots of training, lots of tips, lots of good information, lots of resources there too, not only for your position, but for the PTA in general. So that's a good resource too. But I'm always here if you want to email me, treasurer@louisianapta.org, or Beth is a great resource. She's amazing. She's always available as well. So just reach out if you have any questions or come across anything. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. This is the training document that we went over at training. I would say treasurer is probably one of the most important positions. PTA, they're all important, but the documentation is important. The tracking, the record keeping is important because it deals with the money, and so that's where you can get lots of issues and lots of problems. If you're out of budget, you're not tracking things, you can easily and quickly kind of get out of whack. So there's lots of resources here, like I said, on the site. Lots of good things that you can use to help you kind of stay on track. Reach out to us, but keeping track of things and documented is really important. And then keeping those records from year to year. It's good when the PTA starts out, like India said, they're all new. So having that record of, okay, what was the budget last year? What was spent? What was actually spent? What does our school normally do? Having that information is important. And so keeping that from year to year is important. And then just making sure that you're verified for the year, like your nonprofit, keep your nonprofit status. That's what we talk about, like affiliation. That's why that's so important. And when you go through all of your 7 things for affiliation, then you're good for the year. You're in line, and you've done all the things that you need to do to not be in trouble with, anything IRS or any other wise. So those are very important things. And has everybody done their audit report for the previous year? Linda, y'all done it?
I believe so. They asked me to pull a bunch of information from the last year and submit it to some other of our board members so they can review it along with the auditor from the district. So I was assuming that was that.
Okay, yeah. And then you'll also do that too, like you'll do that at the beginning of the year, and you'll do that like if there's any change in positions in the board, that's another time you'll do that. The
Okay.
audit. So getting started at the beginning of the year, you'll update your bank signers, and then you'll need 3 signers on the account. When you do any expense sheets, or if you're doing reimbursements, if you're reimbursing yourself, then you are not to sign the check. So the other 2 people, that's why you really need to have 3 signers. Because all checks do need 2 signatures. That's just our policy. And so have 2 people sign under dual control, just like with anything, cash or anything else, it's just better to have 2 people. And there's some different things here that are different. In Caddo, you're not allowed to have a debit card in Caddo. But everywhere else, I think, is allowed to have debit cards. PTA's name and person's name is going to be on the debit card. And so each year you'll get a new debit card for, as new people are in the position, you'll get a new card, new signature card at the bank. The treasurer is also going to chair the budget committee and create the budget. So you're going to work together with probably the president, and if you have a budget committee, compare what was spent last year compared to what programs and fundraisers and stuff y'all want to do for this year. Create the budget, and then you'll present it at the first general membership meeting and get it passed. You can spend money before you get the budget passed if you put it in startup funds. And so startup funds is just going to be, a certain amount of money that you can spend, you're allowed to spend before the budget gets approved. And then you will assist the audit committee, like Linda said, get documents. A current or previous bank signer cannot perform the audit. So it's going to be other people looking at all of the stuff from the previous year to complete the audit report. And then your monthly duties are just going to be, tracking the income and expenses, attending the PTA meetings, given the budget report and a reconciliation report. Are y'all using any software to track your records?
We
Minder.
use Moneyminder. Mm-hmm.
The other thing that the treasurer is going to do is submit the dues. Either the treasurer or the president is going to submit the dues monthly for on the Give Back site. And I think y'all both already said you're set that up, or you're going to set that up. So that's good. And then keeping track of all of your record keeping. So you're going to keep all of your financial statements, your bank statements, and then your password summary sheets, deposit forms, and all of your expense forms with your receipts. Now you can keep these paper copies in a binder, or you can keep them digitally. I prefer to have a binder. I like to have my records. I like to have my paper. And then at the end of the year, you can scan it all and keep the documents online, or if like you use MoneyMinder, you can store all your documents there, and then you'll still have access to that. And it's good to kind of see like from year to year, like you can go back and look at the budget, you can go back and look at, all of the reports and, how the money was spent and everything from year to year. And it's good for record keeping. How do y'all keep your records?
We have, I'm kind of old school, so I like to scan everything and have an electronic copy. I have my hard copy, and then I put everything in MoneyMinder as we go, so I don't have to go back and add it in later. So.
And so either way, those are acceptable. If you do keep it like a digital copy, like, because they do suggest, so monthly when you get your bank statements, they need to be reviewed and signed. So that is like, I guess, a challenge, but you can sign the PDF, keep it, save it. It's just kind of an extra step. So you'll just kind of need to get a process for that going. But so these are just some basic principles. Only and all PTA money goes into the PTA's bank account. So no, you can't spend money, like I said, without the budget being approved, except for the startup funds. And then don't sign a blank check or a check made out to cash unless you do need to get petty cash from the bank. Sometimes, like if you're collecting money for selling shirts or a dance or something like that, you might need to have petty cash. And so you can, because when you go to the bank, you'll need to do that, sign a check to get cash, petty cash, but you'll just keep your, record keeping that it is for petty cash. But in general, not signing, not just having a blank check or anything like that. Like if there's an invoice or something that you need to pay, like, make it out to, whatever, if it's like a jumpy inflatable company or whatever it is, a coffee company or whatever, make the check out. You can sign it if, you're giving it to somebody they don't know the amount yet or whatever, that's okay, but just make the check out. Like, don't leave it blank for the payer. And then always have 2 signatures, and then you'll have 2 signatures on the expense form. And also, like for cash deposits, you always need to have like that under dual control. So if you have cash, like have 2 people counting it to verify, and then, record keeping, and then 2 people are going to sign that deposit form, and then it goes to the bank. And then if there's any discrepancies, it can be handled right away. They do suggest, like within a day, deposit it into cash, or keeping it in the safe. Like if it's a Friday, keeping it in the safe at school. But always have 2 people controlling, when they count the money. And then don't pay with cash. If you do receive cash payment, give a cash receipt. And then, like if it's for a membership, there's a way to add that membership for a cash payment. There's Givebacks has lots of videos that kind of go through that. Have y'all found the Givebacks site with all of the
Yes.
videos? Good. And I think Beth has those linked too on our page. So there's a whole Givebacks /big Givebacks on our page that's got a bunch of links to videos. How to, and I think that's one of them. And so insurance or PTA, and then that's going to be especially for the treasurer and the president. And then there's like a few different options for that. There's information too on the site for those. We use AIM, but there's another company too. You can check around for prices. You may want to include like social media, just because that's, with our Facebook page and Instagram or whatever social media we're using, just more protection. So you might look into that if need be. And then, so make sure you're getting the receipts. If, whoever's spending money on an event, make sure you get those receipts. Don't wait, because at the end of the year, it's really hard to go back, 6 or 8 months and try to find receipts or remember, what did I do or how was that? It's just easier just to take care of. So they suggest within a week, but, make sure it's okay to keep asking. It's okay to, say, hey, I need that receipt, and kind of, it says demand. And I would use that word too. Like, it's okay to just then say like, hey, I need it. And we were all busy, we all do stuff, but you know, make sure you get those receipts just for your documentation backup purposes. And so the budget is going to go for the fiscal year July 1st through June 30th. Talks a little bit about fundraisers. There's lots of good fundraising ideas on the site as well. Let's see, we talked about this a little bit. Comparison budget. Those are all reports and stuff you can print out if you're using MoneyMinder. And then if the budget is exceeded, or it looks like it's going to need to be exceeded or changed or anything like that, you can amend the budget during the school year. You'll just do that at a general membership meeting. Let's see. So it talks about the checking account here. You can have a savings account. 2 signatures are required on the expense forms. Credit cards are not allowed, but debit cards are allowed. Let's see. And then Venmo and Zelle are not allowed. You can use PayPal, but there are better alternatives like the Stripe, the Givebacks, ChatterUp. We did use PT Board in the past as well. That's kind of seems like Givebacks, I think, kind of replaces that because it's got a store and everything. And then, like I was saying, the deposit is counted by 2 people and should be made promptly within a day or kept in a safe at school. And then you can do mobile deposit for checks. Just make sure you mark it and then destroy the check. Or I like to keep it with the deposit form, just because you know, it's just a good place to keep it. Or you can destroy it. Just make sure you mark it that it's been mobile deposited, and then once it clears the account, you can destroy it or keep it as backup. Get the bank statements mailed to the school's address, and you can do electronic statements, but you know, normally we just print them anyway. Print them, and then it says have a non-bank signer review and sign every bank statement. So each month, just have somebody review it and sign it. That is, I think, an insurance requirement. Like if there's anything that happens, the insurance is going to ask, like, well, hey, is that your policy? Is that your normal procedure to have, you know, somebody reviewing the bank statements monthly? And then this is about like all of the apps for record keeping. So there's MoneyMinder, Wave Apps, Givebacks, ChatterUp, PT Board. These all kind of range in price. And I think Wave Apps is free, but you know, I'm not sure it has all of the bells and whistles MoneyMinder does, but I think that's a free version. And then, but MoneyMinder did go up this year. It's like $2.99, but it is a good software. And like I said, it is good keeping that history. It was created specifically for, so it's got a lot of reports that are great, that help with PTAs. And so I heard you talking about filing the tax forms. The taxes are due in November, and these tell you, depending on your income for the PTA, depends on which kind of form you're going to file. And so it's your gross income. So it's going to exclude any dues that you pay to Louisiana PTA and National PTA. And then just based on these ranges of income is going to depend on which form you're going to need to file. And all donations, so if anybody gives you a donation, if you get donations from the community or businesses or parents or anybody, it's tax deductible. And let's see. So then this just kind of talks about year-end duties. So have your passwords and account summary spreadsheet. Just kind of keep that handy, because I know at the end of the year it's like, well, wait, what did I change that password to? Or what did I, you know, it's hard to remember. So if you just keep that in your binder and you keep it current, and that'll be ready to go. And then your expense and deposit forms, everything is documented and everything's checked like monthly, like everything that is on the bank statement needs to have a deposit or expense sheet. And those deposit and expense sheet needs to be signed and then also entered into the accounting software. And let's see, I have all the bank statements because that's what you're going to need for the audit report. So you'll need the bank statements and then all the deposit and expense sheets. And so if you have that all kind of ready, it's ready to go for the next year as they do the audit report. And then you'll include like all of these reports, your previous audit report, your tax ID, articles of incorporation, the IRS filings, and your insurance policy. And then the retention policy is just basically keep everything. I think just it depends on what it is, but it's, you know, good policy just to kind of keep it. And then if you can, like I said, if you scan everything at the end of the year, keep a backup copy and then keep it on Google Drive or something like that, or a MoneyMinder or wherever you're using, then you're good. And it's okay to kind of keep that. You're not going to inherit like a box full of, you know, papers from 10 years ago. That's so hard. And so I think Beth's working on scanning, like we have records of all of our stuff, because I think you're supposed to keep like the minutes for the meetings, like for all of them. So that's like a lot of documents, a lot of notebooks, or a lot of stuff. But like keeping that digitally, keeping a backup is great. And then just kind of that exchange of meeting with the new board, turning over the checkbook, debit cards, you know, all of your records and password sheets, turning that over and then helping them kind of like set up, because, you know, sometimes there's transition, like you need to get the authentication or whatever to set up the new user. There are a few different apps you can use to kind of help with that. I think we talked about one at training. It's called 1Password, and so it does the authentication and the passwords and all in one thing. So you don't have to, you know, it's not somebody's phone number from 6 years ago who, you know, you may have trouble getting in touch with. It's all right there together. And I think that I think it's like $4 or $5 a month you would pay. But if you're able to and interested in that, you know, you can add that to your budget. You can also add like an accountant if need be to do your taxes. You can add that in your budget. Anything like that, you just need to be thinking about and adding to your budget if, you know, if your PTA needs that or if you're able to do that. So those are all things you can think of, like for now and then moving forward. And so, yeah, transferring all that over. And then like Stripe account needs that social security number to have the accountability. So just doing all that is important. And then transferring it as well at the end of the year or the beginning of the next year is also important. So I think that kind of went through everything. Does anybody have questions or any issues you wanted to talk about or any fun stuff you want to talk about?
I don't have any questions or issues right now. We're getting ready for Penny Wars at our school.
Oh, how do y'all do that?
Each grade, usually we collect it during lunchtime, or the teachers will bring it up, depending for the little kids' classes. But you get essentially a point for every penny, and then you can sabotage other grades with dollars or silver coins. It's negative, so if you put a quarter in another grade's jar, it's minus 25 points. And so we collect it all week. And at the end of each day, we post who's winning or what grade level is winning. So it gets very competitive amongst some of the parents and grade levels. And then the winning grade level gets, I think one year we did a pizza party. We're talking about potentially doing a slime making party this year. So
Fun. That sounds like fun. And what grades are at your school?
they have pre-K through 5th.
Okay.
So
That sounds like fun. Yeah, I've heard of other schools doing that. I think that the kids really get into that.
they do, and the parents do because we post it on our, the app that the school has, and then we post it on Facebook. So everybody waits at night. And so I know when my kids were younger, I would send like plastic bags with this goes to fifth grade, so they would know which ones to put it in.
Oh,
So,
okay.
mhm.
Cool.
But it's an easy, like, yes, you get to spend some quality time at the Coinstar or at the bank, but aside from that, it's a good just moneymaker because you only have to pay for a party or a pizza. So
Right. So how do you do that? Like how do you separate the pennies and all? Do you just separate, is that what you do? You separate the pennies and then,
well, we have jars or containers for each grade level, and so then I'll go to the bank and use their coin counter, and they print off a piece of paper that tells you total amount, this many pennies, this many nickels, this many dimes. And so then I just have a piece of paper or a spreadsheet I plug it into. And so it
oh, okay,
calculates the total for each day. And then we just carry it over. And then, so I'll do one grade level, print it off, and then do a next grade level. So,
fun. How much do y'all usually make on that?
um, we usually make about 2,000
Wow.
by the time it's done.
And you said you do it for a week?
Monday through Friday.
That's awesome. Wow.
So I'm asking because this is something that we could try at our school as well. So do
Definitely.
y'all just it's just like a kind of like a fundraiser for y'all?
It's just a straight fundraiser for PTA, and the winning grade level gets, like I said, I think they did a pizza party one year. They've done slime making, and I forget, they did like a bounce house party one year where they put a bounce house in the gym for the winning grade level. So we kind of try to change that up, but we try not to spend any more than a couple $100 depending on what we do for the winning grade level. But
Right.
like
Say
this one will be like the second to last week of October. So
That's great. And it sounds like it's fun. Like the kids are all involved. You know,
and
you
the
got involved
parents get
parents.
competitive.
Yeah.
and so
All the
you
kinder
say
parents. Go ahead.
it's, so you say you take like every day you
Hmm.
just get to the bank, the
Hmm.
jars to the bank, and they just count it out and they just print you off a sheet with the amount
Yes.
of everything.
Our bank
As long
has
as
like
they
a
have a
coin
coin machine.
sorter. It has a coin sorter, and so we just throw it in there. Um, and sometimes we'll do some of it manually because some people even go as far as bringing like rolled coins. Like they'll go to the bank and get quantities of rolled coins. I think there were boxes of already rolled coins last year.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so some people got a little crazy with it.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a little bit of legwork on like the money side of just I blocked off my work schedule from like 3 to 5 that week so I could go deal with the bank and coins. But it's a good money maker, especially when the people get competitive about it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like it's interactive, the people are
Hmm.
involved. And then like that's like better than like a restaurant night. I mean, some
Hmm.
restaurant nights you can get that much, but
Most of them, it's a couple $100. I feel like if we're
yeah,
lucky, it's 400. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Are y'all
That's
looking for fundraisers, India, at your school?
yes, ma'am. We're looking for fundraisers. We're actually looking for everything. No one really has any information on anything. Like the people from last year, we can barely get in touch with them. And so it's just we're trying to figure out certain things to do without even knowing, what's the budget that we have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because
Well,
still we haven't got into the bank account. Even when we took them the email that Miss Beth sent us to get into the bank account to show that we were the new members, they did not open it up to us. So we still kind of waiting on the last principal or the last president to meet up with us so we can go to the bank account and switch the name. So
Huh. There's lots of program and event ideas we went over. There's lots of fundraising ideas, and that's on the website too. Like, Box Tops is a good one because that's just the app and that's just very passive. I think our school got either $100 or $150 a year for Box Tops. Community Coffee does labels too, and so things like that are just kind of like just passive, like you're not really having to put forth a lot of effort, and you're not having to put forth money to get those kind of things, to get people involved, to make them feel included. That always it usually works out good. So that's what we're here for. Here to support you guys, so always reach out.
thank you so much.
All right, well, does anybody have any questions, any other questions or anything else they wanted to discuss?
No, ma'am.
I'm good, thank you.
All right, well, I guess we'll wrap it up then. And like I said, thank y'all so much, and stay in touch and have a great year.